Hey there, warriors. Welcome back to history class. Welcome back from spring break. I hope you are ready to learn. We are ready to teach you. So, this is History 7 with Mr. Harvey or with Mrs. Rojas, and we are ready to get started. For the remainder of the year, we are going to be learning about something in history called the Renaissance. The Renaissance is not a place. Earlier this year, we learned about the Middle East. That was a place. We studied Africa. That's a place. But the Renaissance is not a place. The Renaissance is a period of time. And so even though you're going to learn about a few places along the way, the Renaissance is a time. And it's a time when the world changed a lot. And in order to teach you about this time in history, I've decided to use an analogy. My analogy is a bridge. And so, take a look at this picture. You can see that down here, I've labeled it medieval times. We've learned all about medieval times. It was a time of castles and knights in shining armor. Most people couldn't read. They didn't have books. No one really understood diseases because they didn't have microscopes. Nothing really moved faster than the speed of a horse. We live on the other side of the bridge. We live in modern times. We can move quickly. We have electric light bulbs. We can communicate through the internet around the world practically at the speed of a lightning bolt. And it's a very, very different world than the world of medieval times. And so, in order to get the world from the way it used to be in medieval times to modern times, we have to cross this bridge. And you can see that I've labeled that bridge the Renaissance. And so that's what the Renaissance was. That's what the Renaissance is. The Renaissance was a time in history when lots of really, really big, important changes were going on in the world. When I use the word world, I want you to understand I'm talking about the world of people and the way they live, not geology, not the shaking of earthquakes or volcanoes or anything like that. I'm talking about the way people live, the culture of the human world. And so the Renaissance is that time in history when lots and lots of big changes were taking place. You can see now I've got a timeline in my hand. And this is showing you when the Renaissance took place. From about the middle of the 1300s up until about the 1600s, during those centuries of time, there were all kinds of really, really significant, important changes taking place in the world. And this is what we call the Renaissance. So if I had to give a summary of what the Renaissance was with just one word, the word that I would choose is change. Because so many really big things changed during the Renaissance that ushered in the modern world. And that's what you're going to be learning about in this lesson and in the days ahead. As I think about the Renaissance, and as you think about the Renaissance and what you're reading and what you're seeing, I want you to keep in mind two questions, because these questions will be answered over and over again. One of those questions you can see here is, how did the world change? You know, just a moment ago I talked about medieval times and modern times. Medieval times was a time when people used candles to see at night. We use electric light bulbs. That's the kind of change I'm talking about. Really big, significant changes. The other question is, who made that change happen? We're going to learn about changes in the way people live. And for the most part, the changes took place because people made the changes happen. And as you get into the PowerPoint in just a moment, I've given you an example to get you started with before you even get to the reading part of this lesson. And so you're going to be learning about the Renaissance, a time of great big changes in the world, a time that ushered in the modern world the way we live today. So learn a lot, warriors. Until next time, this is Mr. Harvey signing out.